go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Hey, hopefully everybody will come join me. We'll find out. Hold on there, Darren. I'm having a big fucking clusterfuck.
Vikings.
You think it's bad? I've got 2 shows. And that one's working. Hey, we got some okay. Let me kill that. All right, here we go. Fire KOC, says Cody. I fire Dave because he's fucked tonight's show up. Just like the Vikings did in Seattle. Yes. You can see Darren's feelings on this game. Darren?
All right. I had to have a moment there.
Just a moment. A little bit of moment.
Yeah.
Hey, I hope you didn't have Thanksgiving. Never mind.
I did not. Nope. No, but
I hope everybody that's watching Thanksgiving went well. If they didn't see us yesterday, to say that, to hear that. And if you haven't, go back and watch 2 old bloggers with me and Darren and the Drewster.
That's right. Indeed.
How do you want to dissect this cluster?
Yeah, well, I guess J.J. McCarthy is in no danger of losing his starting job. That's probably
no. I would say not.
One thing we can take from that. But I'm not even going to blame Brosmer. He shouldn't be playing this year anyway, and because of various decisions that were made and injuries that have happened, he was forced to play in a game in a very tough stadium against a very tough opponent with 2 starting offensive linemen down. Excuse. But he shouldn't be playing, right? And he had to play because of things, and the outcome was maybe a little bit worse than I expected, but I didn't expect much coming into the game, and I got less than that. But I'm not gonna be like blaming Brosmer and like he should not be on the team or anything like that, and none of that stuff. It was just a colossal failure, not totally unexpected that it would turn out like this. And this is the worst Vikings offense, Dave, I can ever remember watching. And I remember the 2006 team. They're like an offensive juggernaut compared to what we're doing now. And the quarterback situation has done something I thought was impossible. It's made Justin Jefferson irrelevant as a player. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty hard to do, but that's what they are doing here. And is it going to get any better? Probably not a whole lot better.
Top 10 draft pick.
Yeah. We're 4-8, trending to 4-13.
Yeah. Hey, Jonas, you're up at the wee hours of the morning. What do you think of this absolute shit show of a football game?
He's thinking you should have went to bed.
Well, let's just say it like this. Not sure if it's correct, but I think I've just read that this was the first time the Vikings have been shut out since 2007, I think. At least that's what the tweet says. And if that's true, it has been the first time the Vikings have been shut out since I'm watching football, because I started watching football in 2009, and therefore, when the Vikings were shut out the last time, I wasn't watching football yet. I mean, granted, I was 11 years old, so yeah, that's, I think, probably the best I can say to describe what's happening right now.
Let's see.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about that. I thought, I'm not entirely sure about the score. I thought they were shut out, or there was a good chance that they were shut out in that weird Sean Mannion game at Lambeau Field. But I don't know. Maybe not. I don't really remember. Although I think I was on the show on that one.
yeah.
No, the last shutout win was a 24-0 defeat to the Eagles on October 22nd, 2017.
Okay. Guess I was wrong then. So, at least one thing. And I mean, if you want to look for, oh no.
The year we went 13-3. I don't think we didn't even play the Eagles.
I just looked on Grok, so the computer could be wrong.
Probably.
I don't remember a shutout in 2007 either, which would have been Adrian Peterson's rookie year.
Thank you, Anthony.
But
anyway, if we want to find something positive, like if we are looking at last year's draft class, the headliner obviously was JJ McCarthy. At least the other first round pick is starting to look like first round pick. I mean, that's something, I guess.
It is something, and it would be an important something if you could get anything from your quarterbacks right now, which the Vikings can't. So, but it is very encouraging to see Dallas Turner. That's probably his fourth straight strong game that I'm counting, and he's making plays today. Again, he was very noticeable out there. If he wasn't getting to the quarterback, he was tipping passes, getting in throwing lanes, and doing, I think, some good things out there. And we need a guy like him, as young as he is, to show like that. And that is a good thing, I think. I think the defense still today, I think they played reasonably well. Seattle kind of changed up their offensive game plan in the second half. They were saying, hey, every time Darnold drops back and we try to hit a deep pass where he's getting pressured and it's not leading to good things, so let's just check it down and try to and hand the ball off and kick a few field goals, because that's all we got to do to beat this team. And that ended the pass rush for the Vikings, because Darnold was not holding the ball very long, and they were still able to move the ball a little bit. And the Vikings defense gets tired. They can't get off blocks. They miss some tackles. They can't, and it all. But defensively, I thought solid effort today. But hey, it's pretty tough for them when they know that the offense isn't going to do anything.
I mean, at least we don't have to endure all the headlines about Sam Darnold dropping like 400 yards on us. At least that didn't happen. So
he didn't have to.
He didn't have to.
He didn't have to, but he probably wouldn't have, even if he was even if this game was competitive, because when the game still was seemed competitive in the first half, he couldn't do anything. So at least there's that, I guess.
It's hard.
Thanks to small wins at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Scottish Bears in here wishing us well, and his Bears are in first place in the NFC.
Yeah.
Number one seed. Tyler, are you walking on the beach or what?
No, I am actually outside of a restaurant. We were able to get into the Italian spot, but you need a reservation for it. The only reservation was at 6:30, so we're taking advantage on our final night. I don't really have much to say. We'll obviously do a real Forno show probably on Tuesday. Dave and I will have to figure out a time, and we'll communicate that to you when that occurs. But this is a look inward type of loss, and I really don't have words right now of how embarrassed I am to have had to watch this football game. It was awful. I thought Brosmer would be a little farther along, especially with how they've been talking about him. I'm going to be honest. I don't use hyperbole, but I am quickly losing faith in the regime of Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. How they're going about their business, how the players are playing for them or lack thereof. The fact that Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison can't catch a football from somebody under the age of 27 is incredibly concerning. Just their lack of understanding who's actually good at football and then playing who's actually good at football it's just all adding up. And I've been a big defender of both of them. I'm starting to lose faith, and the data is just mounting so heavy against them that it wouldn't shock me if both of these guys were gone at the end of the year because of how catastrophic this has been. It's not just about losses. It's about how the games are going. It's about how the players are playing for you, which I'm going to be honest, these offensive players don't really look like they're playing for their head coach right now. It's concerning to me on such a big level. And if you fire the GM, you got to fire the head coach, or vice versa. You don't keep one. They're a package deal. And even though they got extensions, that does not matter. They can get fired after signing extensions. Just it happened to Mike Zimmer and Rick Spielman. It's going to happen again.
Yeah, but they were already a year into their extensions. These guys' extensions haven't even started yet. And I'm sure the Wilfs will be upset with it. Now, guys, I'm going to switch screens real quick. And let's see who came across. Tyler did not.
I'll leave you with this. I don't want to. I can't stay too long because I have to get out. I'll adjust myself, Dave, so you don't have to. But just disheartening, a disheartening, concerning loss on every possible wavelength. Just this football team sucks, and it shouldn't be this way. There's too much talent for it to be this way. There's too many good coaches for it to be like this. But in reality, the Vikings are a bad football team, and it's going to be incredibly important that they nail this draft class because, and eventually whoever the quarterback's going to be, because if they don't, it's going to go into catastrophic levels that we haven't seen since the mid-2000s post Dante Culpepper, and they were only saved by Brett Favre. This is a really bad spot for this football team. And if J.J. McCarthy comes back after this concussion, looks great, awesome. Everything can be solved. But if it doesn't, we're in bad straits. Mm-hmm. Sal, it's great to have you back. I wish I could stay longer, but I have to go back into dinner. I'll have more later this week, but this is a bad football team, and I'm sorry you all have to watch it.
Okay.
But I'm glad you're here.
Well, nice to see you too, Tyler. Excited to be here with you guys. Sad you have to leave, but I'll talk to you later, I'm sure.
All right.
Yes, you will. Well, take it easy, guys. I'm flying back from Mexico tomorrow, but I'm going to have a lot more on this cataclysmic bullshit we just had to watch. So
I don't feel bad for you anymore. Never mind.
You shouldn't feel bad for me. Nobody should feel bad for me. I'm with my beautiful wife in Mexico at a gorgeous resort. The only bad thing about my day is having to watch this bullshit football team. So
there you go.
All right.
Have a good night, guys. I will talk to you later.
Enjoy, Tyler.
Now we're going to switch back to 4 and bring Sal into where Tyler was.
Hey, guys.
It is so good to see you.
Nice to see you too. Hold on, I need to fire off this tweet. I expected to make my return and be very prompt and like show that I'm like responsible now and all of that. But I decided to sell something on Facebook Marketplace, and I should have known better than pulling some BS. So I had to deal with that really quick. But anyways, hey, how y'all doing?
We're a little bit frustrated over the football game and the state of the team.
Oh, I can't imagine why.
Well, it turns out somebody that was advocating for the ginger in the crowd to keep the ginger turned out to be correct.
Well, hey, he sure didn't prove that for me today. geez, I was expecting a lot more when the schedule came out. Obviously, this one was circled on the calendar of, oh, for fuck's sake. Of course they're going to play their former quarterback that they decided to part ways with. Of course they are. And yeah, it certainly did not live up to that anticipation at all. Nor did it when I put this shirt on today. I was like, oh, this will be kind of funny to troll. I'll wear this. Never thought I would have a reason to wear it again. And that didn't work out either. So, yeah.
So what do you think of this season? Nobody's heard from you all season long.
I know. Hold on, I'm trying to fire off a tweet here. I know I've been MIA. Is my audio even sound okay? Who knows?
Yeah, your audio sounds fine.
It still works, thank God.
Vikings quarterbacking has been MIA too.
There you go. Well, the last time the Vikings were bad was back when me and Darren were holding down Vikings Twitter. It's been that long.
That's right. That's funny.
2011, 2013 were some awesome seasons for the Vikings for sure. But hey, Tyler throwing up the bomb there, losing faith in KOC and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. Like he didn't say it, but he'll probably say on a show there's a non-0% chance they're fired by the end of the season. I don't see that happening, but as bad as things looked, if you believe that these guys were good when they're getting a 13-4 season and a 14-3 season, then you got to have a little bit more, I think, stick with them than that. When things go as south as they do. But big questions to ask about the whole quarterback assessment, evaluation, and eyeballing and thinking that McCarthy was ready and he's not, and then you don't have the requisite backup plan in place in case he isn't ready. I know they tried to sign Daniel Jones, and Jones decided to go somewhere else, but there were other options, I think. It seemed like they were a little late getting to them.
Yeah, I found that really surprising that they pretty much went the entire offseason, including training camp, with no real QB2 option. They didn't even sign Wentz until after the preseason, which I just thought was bizarre that you wouldn't want to get your backup quarterback as many reps as possible, knowing that it wouldn't be all that shocking if he had to come in for a couple games, given, the past year. So that was really bewildering to me that we just kept seeing every veteran quarterback being snagged. And I mean, Daniel Jones was one of the very first ones to go on the first day of free agency, which was wild.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think that one of the reasons was they probably overrated Sam Howell. When they traded for him, I think they thought that he was that guy, he was that high-end backup, and then they saw him in training camp and they were like, oh no, he's definitely not. And you probably could fault them for not realizing that sooner. So you probably could have bought in Wentz halfway through training camp once you saw that Howell just isn't doing anything. But at this point, I think I don't think we're gonna see any real change at GM or head coach. I think you'd have to have reports from inside the team that the players are turning on them. Like, this is probably and it has to be more than some vague reporting. It probably has to be very open on game days that players are starting to yell at Kevin O'Connell or stuff like that to get them in danger. But I think you're gonna see some assistance chipped off. Like the first one, I've already mentioned it, and I've tweeted it the last few weeks. Every week, Matt Daniels, I think the special teams coordinator, is the first one who's going to be fired this offseason. And there's going to be some player turnover. Tyler mentioned this draft class. I think we're gonna get younger, a lot younger at many positions. And I think there are big names that right now are on the team and on big contracts that are going to be off the team after this season. We've talked about Harkinson. I think probably Ryan Kelly. Smith is going to retire, and I actually think that we are going to see one of our starting edge rushers getting shipped off, probably with a trade, just to get Dallas Turner into the starting role, especially after the way he played recently. So there is going to be a lot of turnover, but I don't think it's gonna be Kevin O'Connell or Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah after this season. If next season goes poorly, yeah, absolutely, but I don't think it's gonna happen this year.
Yeah, I agree. As far as KLC and Kwesi, the funny thing is funny thing is, or not funny, but of course, KLC Coach of the Year last year. It just shows how quickly things can change in the NFL, because after this season, next season becomes a must-win season for him, and probably Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah too. If you have another losing season and your quarterback situation is still unsettled and there's really not looking like a lot of progress there, then yeah, KLC could be out the door. After he was 2 seasons prior was a genius and we were going to keep him forever. The NFL can just eat you up. But of course, the positive thing where people are really down about this, and I know it's hard to be positive with how things are going, but we've seen it year after year after year, and with the Vikings too. Things change so fast in the NFL. Like, it seems really dark now. The Vikings are not going to be like this forever or even for very long. They're going to bounce back, I think, and they're going to have very good seasons here in the near future. But it's just because that's the way the NFL goes. Our schedule next year will probably be easier. Some of the players who didn't perform will perform better. We got to get, but just going to need somewhat better quarterback play. Well, actually a lot better. And I don't know where that's coming from, but I think there's a lot of things that could lead to a quick turnaround for the Vikings next year. And I was hoping I'd never have to be talking about this after game 12 of this season, but that's where we are.
I'm trying to figure out, are we technically eliminated? Or are we down to like less than 1% chance?
I don't think there was any elimination scenario at this point
today.
But
then we're down to 1%.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see those scenarios either next week or the week after that. And yeah, I mean, we don't really have to talk about that because we all know that they aren't going to make the playoffs. I think we can be pretty sure about that one. Yeah.
Well, next week's Washington in US Bank.
Mm-hmm.
You going to be there, Sal?
Probably with Jaden Daniels back.
I'm sure I will be there. Yeah. Wouldn't want to miss that barn burner, you know. I agree with you guys. I think the majority of at least what I saw on social media today was people calling for everybody to be fired. Essentially, I was surprised.
They do that if the team has a bad quarter, they do that. So.
Yeah, you're probably right. Maybe I've been a little too far away that's out of my memory, but I was really surprised when I first started seeing that much earlier in the season, at least as far as KOC goes, because yeah, he just won Coach of the Year, and literally a few months ago he could do nothing wrong according to the very same people. However, I just don't think that there's a chance. We all know how loyal the Wilfs are. We know that they stick with people that they've employed longer than most people, not just fans, like around the league, think that they should. They seem to give a longer leash to people. They develop personal relationships with them, and maybe they've learned from those past mistakes with Rick Spielman, or even deciding to keep Mike Zimmer that extra year than it was reported they really wanted to. I certainly don't see them cutting ties with KOC. I don't even think that they would do it next year if he has a terrible season because of how much success he had early on. I think I had a tweet that said that Coach of the Year award locked up at least 10 more years from the Wilfs. Absolutely. But I mean, Kwesi hasn't had as much success. I mean, to have only 4 guys on the roster from your first 2 drafts, I think is inexcusable. Things happen, of course, but I mean, that's really, really, really bad odds. But I still don't think they'll cut him this year. Unless it comes out that these new rumors about the discourse between KOC and Kwesi over the quarterback situation, maybe if that really is a serious ordeal, but otherwise I think no way they'll both be back because of the Wilfs and their track record.
You heard it here first, people.
Everything is as shitty as it is right now because of the quarterback. It's just, there's other stuff. Yeah, the special teams take penalties. The defense struggles sometimes with stopping a power rushing attack. But if your quarterback, whoever's in there, has struggles with making consecutive positive plays, you are not going to be able to score and move the ball. And KOC can't dial up any more plays than he possibly, like, it's the players, it's not the plays. And the player is particularly who's getting hutted the ball and is behind center or in the shotgun today. So that's where the big massive improvement has to happen. That again, KOC and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah have constructed this quarterback room to be what it is. That's where all the heat on them should be. I don't think on a lot of this other stuff. Play calling, not running the ball more. Were they going to run the ball more today? They were averaging fucking minus 2 yards per carry most of the game. But yeah, you throw a 2-yard pass and then your next 3 passes are off target, or you throw it into coverage. Like you just can't move the ball that way. You can't score points that way. And that is 100% on the quarterback every time.
Mm-hmm. Now, Judd Zolgad said before the game that Max Brosmer was either going to be good or he's going to be Jaren Hall bad. I think Jaren Hall played better than Max Brosmer did today.
Hey, I mean, Kwesi signed. Didn't he draft Jaren Hall? So
he did.
Shout out 5th round, Kwesi.
I do feel bad for Brosmer because you never know in his situation when you're going to get a shot to be a starter in the NFL. This might be the only chance he ever has to start a game, and he's put in a horrible situation with a shorthanded offensive line against a really good team, set up to fail. They had no choice to put him in to fail or swim, sink or swim. He sank. Maybe that's the only time he gets to start an NFL game again. He had to either knock it out of the park or and he didn't do it. I feel bad for him. The NFL ain't fair. Pro sports ain't fair. And it was just tough to watch today.
What was his total yards?
His total yards were 19 for 30 for 126.
Oh, how did he get to 126? That garbage time?
Yeah, at the end of the game. Yeah, that's particularly the last couple of drives.
Oh, man.
I think like 1/5 of it was that one completion to Hawkinson.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Could be.
I think, what was JJ's low? 96? So even statistically, maybe, not as bad.
JJ's yet to throw 4 interceptions in a game, but I'm sure he'll be working on that the next time he starts.
Now, I did write a series of 10 questions for this game. First one was, did rookie Max Brosmer look like an NFL QB or get destroyed in his debut?
Well, we know the answer to that one.
Answer is destroyed. Second question, did the run game with Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Mason ever show up?
No.
There was nothing for them to run to. They were
partially blame that on the offensive line.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, and I think I think
Seattle
the other
also-
part was Mike McDonald specifically said that they wanted the Vikings to throw, which means they stacked the box like crazy, put out the heavy personnel, and they were like, no, you aren't going to run on us. That's not happening today. So you got to give the ball into the hands of your UDFA rookie and see how it goes. And it went just like everybody expected.
I will say, back when I brought up 2013, when the world was a lot more normal on social media, when me and Darren were there, and the Kick-Ass Bike blog, rest in peace. That season, honestly,
That was a good blog, by the way.
yeah, that season, as abysmal as it was, 3-13, I actually kind of liked that season, as crazy as that might sound, because there felt like there were things to evaluate. There was talent to evaluate. That was a year for Christian Ponder where you knew a decision was coming sooner or later. There was, Leslie Frazier was on the way out. And so it seemed like, at least for me, there was a reason to watch. Whereas I don't necessarily even mind if they're bad, as long as it's entertaining. There is nothing entertaining about this team right now. There's no storyline to follow, especially when JJ isn't in the game. It's just abysmal. There's nothing to look forward to. Today was all the storylines going into this game, right? We've got a Sam Darnold comeback. We've got Max Brosmer, hometown favorite, former Gopher player. We have things to really follow, and it was just a total snooze fest. At least the defense made it somewhat interesting, I suppose.
Sal, 2013. Talk about entertainment. You were at the Baltimore game, the snow game, weren't you?
Yes.
Were they 50 points in 60 seconds at the end of the game?
Exactly. See, you get what I'm talking about. We had Cordero Patterson in that snow game. I was on the 50-yard line in the second row. Paid $50 to buy that in the parking lot. That was exciting. See, it's is it worse to just be bored and get on here and talk like this? There's absolutely nothing to look forward to. Or at least if you're going to lose, do it in an exciting fashion. Which do you guys think is better? Is it better just to be so pissed off at them blowing it, or like this?
I'd
rather it be close and exciting.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah. Same.
But yeah. No,
yeah. Or at least an abysmal, a funny way to lose, or just, Whereas today it just was there's no excitement in watching Max Brosmer. There's
it's
nothing.
Not even exciting. I actually am dreading watching these games.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a lost cause because nothing's going to happen with him in his career. No offense to him. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he's set up to fail in the situation that he's in, right? He's just a body to put back there. So it's not where maybe you have somebody with a little more success that you could maybe see blossom, possibly. You know what I mean?
Darren Sanders, you mean that kind of
yeah.
Yeah. Who also didn't look very good today. But
Max
he doesn't look good at all anyways.
Max wouldn't be on an NFL roster if it wasn't for convenience. If it wasn't for him living down the street from freaking the new Winter Park, So these people putting all these expectations on him, I thought was nutty, but that's the
Biggs
Minnesota way.
says he wants to be pissed off. Yeah, but the problem, Biggs, is just like me, you can't, because it's so blah that we've given up.
I think he means he wants to feel something.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Even if it's anger, you want to feel something, whereas this just feels numb.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to put it. Next question was, how bad was the O-line? Same old story. And yes, it was the same old story. Injuries. And even Ryan Kelly got hurt again and was out, this time not with a concussion, but with a hip injury. And so we had, from the left side, SKOL. We had Brandel. And then Juergens. That's not going to help the running game, and it's sure not going to help pass blocking.
I mean, hey, I'll give it to the front office. I feel like they at least tried to make moves in free agency to get a better offensive line to help their young quarterback. That's more than a lot of teams do. It didn't work out or hasn't worked out so far, and that's really unfortunate, but I do respect that they at least tried.
Mm-hmm. Next question. Any explosive plays from Addison or just dinks and dunks?
Dinks and
Or
dunks.
drop.
There was a potential that explosively dropped.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch he dropped. Now, this brought back to
2, I think.
That
What
Brosmer was anticipating too quickly. That he was throwing the ball prior to people coming out of their breaks, which is fine. That's anticipation. Quarterback's supposed to do that. But he was almost too fast. Whereas J.J. McCarthy is a hitch slow on those anticipation throws. And it's just like J.J. McCarthy, Brosmer, one is a hitch slow, the other is a hitch fast, and we get the same result.
True. I'm curious, what do you guys think about, you think Addison will be on the team next year?
Next year, I'm pretty sure about that. I'm like 50-50 if he'll get an extension after that. But I'm pretty sure about next year, and they're going to pick up his fifth-year option. But there's a good chance that Addison is going to be traded after next year because he'll probably demand an extension, and he probably, I think it's 50-50 if he's going to get it. But I don't think he's gone after next season. I think the people, especially the big name players who are going to be gone after next season, are going to be guys who are getting a big check. And Addison is still on his rookie contract, and I don't see him gone after this season. I think again it's gonna be guys who earn big, like Hawkinson, like Kelly, although that's probably due to retirement. Might be one of the edge rushers. Those are the guys I expect to be gone, not Addison.
I think it really depends on Addison, Sal. If he can keep his nose clean this offseason, I don't see, or if he can keep his nose clean, if he doesn't demand or kind of do the wide receiver thing and bellyache and kind of talk his way out of town where they have to force to trade him earlier than they do, then I think he'll return. There's a lot of things that we don't know what the hell is going to happen this offseason. It happens every offseason that could determine that too. I would expect him back. I think if you're looking to improve your quarterback play, then you want weapons for him to throw to. I'm pretty sure Jalen Naylor won't be back, so you're going to need a number 3 wide receiver, along with if you get rid of Addison, you'd need a number 3 and a number 2. And I don't know if Ty Felton is ready to be number 3.
Excuse me, they're so rich at wide receiver, they have healthy scratches. So, I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yes, that's true. Yes, Adam Thielen. Yeah.
I mean, please put some respect on 19's name, okay?
Yeah.
We're going to hear Justin Jefferson wants a trade. Start.
Yeah, you're not going to hear that from Jefferson, though. You're going to hear that from people like Diana Rossini, who pulls things out of her ass, I think, and says they're true.
Okay.
What has she said that isn't true?
Well, there was a whole bunch of stuff about Rodgers is coming to Minnesota, et cetera, et cetera, et
Has
cetera.
that been disproven?
But he didn't come to Minnesota.
Sure, but that doesn't mean it wasn't a conversation that was being had.
But I think she said more than there was conversations.
Yeah,
okay.
Obviously, you had conversations, but what she did and what she said and doubled down on, that was way more than that. And it was to a point where I think the Vikings were already set. They've set their minds at some point, and she just didn't back down, despite like everything pointing to it. I think she kind of, I don't know if she just got wrapped up in it and she tried to talk her way out of that and kind of tried doubling down because of that. But yeah, it definitely wasn't what happened.
I think she also this week talked about McCarthy is possibly done as the starter for the Vikings. So
that
but he
might be
starts
closer
that
to
next
the-
week.
Viking stuff. Like I've read stuff from her from other teams, like things that she's saying, and of course, if you're trying to get the scoops, you're going to be wrong a fair amount of the time. But it seems like she's wrong a lot of the time. Whereas at least Schefter is actually getting his information being force fed to him by general managers because he's buddy with him and they tell him this is what's going to happen. So here you go, Adam. She doesn't seem to quite have those sources. And am I being a little harsh on her? Sure.
I think most sources that she had were people in Rogers' camp who I think definitely wanted to be here. And
there
she
could
probably made more of that than it actually was. And then it was just trying to do damage control, and she did it really badly. Like, I think that's what it was.
Oh, there could be people in the Minnesota front office or whatever. The whole group collaborates. They talk about it all the time. And there could be some people that were inside Minnesota's organization that were advocating for it as well.
Yeah,
Possibly
I mean,
leaking.
Obviously, we're all just speculating here, but I mean, I have had people that I trust who told me that these were they were more than just like little conversations. They were spoken about in depth, and there was some disagreement. Again, who knows what's true, but I certainly don't think it's something she just pulled out of her ass. But I don't know a lot about her track record, so that could be. But I'll also say there's somebody here in town that people will have wanted to listen to the past year and a half who has JJ McCarthy sources, who gets fed bullshit all the time and still spews it. So
now, next question I asked was clutch moments late or another soul-crushing collapse? That's easily we've already talked about it, soul-crushing collapse. Then the following question, KOC's fourth down and clock decisions, genius or fireable? I don't think he had any this week.
Well, he had the one fourth down decision that
and that caused the turnover. Touchdown.
Yeah, but at this point, I'm getting quite irritated with some of these people who just think that rushing for 1 yard is kind of an automatic, especially in this game, where at some point they were at 0.7 yards per carry. So no, that wasn't a given. And I actually think the odds of converting this with some kind of little play action pass were bigger than just running it into the wall. And Max Brosmer just made the worst of it. At some point, you just gotta get some competence from the QB position, or stuff like this is just going to keep happening no matter what he calls.
I didn't end up. Go ahead, Sal.
I was just going to say, I see Daniel in the chat has another shout out to 2013, bringing up Josh Freeman, or was that 2012? Shit. Maybe that was 2012.
It wasn't 2012. No.
Sorry,
no.
I mean, okay,
I
don't know.
2013 or
it was 2013. Okay, he's saying that he remembers Josh Freeman game, but Brosmer might top that one. I completely disagree, because I was really excited when Josh Freeman came because he had success in the past. So with that, and it was this big mystery of what's going on with him. Why isn't he playing? He was really good, the first couple seasons, and then he just poof, disappeared, you know? And so with that, I mean, I remember being super excited. Like, we might have our next franchise QB. We might finally have one here, you guys, because this guy has all this talent. Whereas Max, I mean, the expectations were, you know, I have had none. So I say not necessarily comparable. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, Brian adds, Kwesi needs to go after Kyler Murray, Tua, Bissett, or Jackson, which leads to the 9th question was, or the 10th question is, Brosmer the future, Brosmer, or trade for a vet or a full rebuild?
I say go full rebuild. They never do. Take what you can get before the deadline. Trade whoever. I mean, especially when you have a GM with that track record, you need all the picks you can get. So I've been sick of this in the hunt thing that they did for years and years. And I mean, what's the point? That's how I feel. Just bottom out. You have to do it eventually, or it's going to be the same old story forever.
But will that lead to a new regime?
Not next year. I think they'll stick with KOC for at least 2 more years, no matter what, personally. Just
then you got to do the same with Kwesi.
Do they, though?
Because if you hire a new GM, he's going to want his own head coach. That's the general philosophy.
Well,
are you familiar with a little concept called the triangle of authority?
I am. Oh, those were the days. But
I think especially if the rumors are true that they've had some major disagreements on the future, you know, for example, the quarterback situation, I can see them not being a package deal at this point.
So generally it's the general manager who fires the head coach. But if it went the other way around, that would mean that O'Connell had won a power struggle with Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, in which case is O'Connell then actually the de facto GM? like what GM comes in after, and I don't know, this is me just like with Darren logic about like, if Kwesi goes and KOC doesn't, the Wilfs made that decision, but
well, they could promote somebody also.
Greg,
they really love. They have a lot of loyalists in the front office that I could see them promoting that aren't people that came with Kwesi. Don't ask me for a name, but I could.
Well, yeah. You would. I don't know. Well, we're all over the place here. but
I don't think they're doing it this year.
No, I don't think so either. Like, yeah, it's as bad as this has been. It seems like that would be quite a drastic thing to, after one really bad season, to shit can everybody. But that's, as you mentioned, Sal, that's not really how the Wilfs operate. Even though some fans want them to operate that way. Every time things go a little bit wrong, everybody wants everybody canned. But I just feels too premature to be talking about that, even with them 4-8 and looking like they might not be able to win a game again this year. The season is what it is. However it ends up, you get your draft picks and then you start getting to work on fixing this. And I think the people that are going to be in charge of fixing it are Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. Whether you like that or not, that depends on who you are, but I think that's the way that it's going to go. And they were able to fix it in 2022 and in 2024. And if they're put there to fix it again, let's see what happens. And if they don't fix it in 2026, then there's probably going to be some decisions that are going to be made.
Oh, so we're going with the odd year, even year deal. Odd year were horrible. Even years were great. Gotcha. Old weather guy, I said Grigson with a question mark. Not that I would want him, but anyways. Now, what I forgot to say at the beginning of this, because we're dealing with all the computer problems, was that the Vikings lost today 26-0. I know that's a great news for everybody. And it's their first shutout as crazy, or as Freddie said, since 2007. That one was against the Packers. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's
at least it wasn't the Packers. You guys look on the bright side.
Oh, this one was against Seattle. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, we still have to play the Packers one more time. So there's opportunity. But
don't rule it out.
That 2007 game, I thought that we did score. That was the game Brooks Bollinger started in Lambeau.
I would have to look it up.
But I didn't think we got shut out in that one. But I do know Brooks Bollinger started that game, and it didn't go well. Just like this one didn't.
Well, I want to thank Sal for coming back, at least for today.
Hi. Well, thanks for having me. It's been fun. Like I said, I thought I was going to be able to brag a little bit more, and didn't happen. So I feel like Vikings Twitter probably would have collapsed if it did. But hey, but Sam Darnold's always due for at least like 3 shitty games a year, and he had one today. So
yeah,
he
just not shitty enough.
Well, his was shitty. It's just our offense didn't answer.
Right. Yeah. I feel like it got in his head a little bit, maybe the week up to playing Minnesota, like, oh, I need to have a big revenge game. And then it didn't happen. I don't know. Because they ran the ball so much, especially in the first quarter that Seattle did. And I haven't seen them really do that in any of the games I've watched this year. So maybe he's a little scared.
Much to Smith and Jigba's frustration. I'm sure he wished he had more.
His worst game, right? Mm-hmm. Way by far. Yeah.
He only caught, what, 1 pass? 2 passes?
So are you guys saying if we have to get off here, we have to get off here? But I'm wondering what you guys' take is on if JJ is healthy, say next week. Do you want to see him back, or are you thinking lost season, so what's the point? Just keep him healthy.
I think you gotta have him back, because I think the only pathway where you can avoid like going after an expensive QB with big resources is if JJ McCarthy shows any kind of growth. And you gotta get, like you said, it is a lost season at this point, and the only thing you can get out of it is to see if he will make any strides, anything positive. Just throw him out there and see what happens. And if everything goes badly, sure, it makes your decision easier. And it doesn't ruin anything at this point, because they are out of playoff contention. So what's the point of trying to maximize results at this point? Just see which guys you want to evaluate, and see what you can get out of them. And JJ McCarthy definitely is one of the guys that you still probably want to evaluate. And so get him back in once he's healthy.
I don't want to see either of them, but we don't. Somebody has to play, and I don't really want it to be John Wolford. So I agree with Jonas, is that if McCarthy is healthy enough to play, and granted concussions are a tricky thing, you got to be very careful with those. Once you get one, the next one comes a lot faster, a lot easier to get. So they have to be very careful with JJ McCarthy and not have his long-term health be compromised by this. But he's the guy that is more important to see where he's at than Max Brosmer at this point. So if he's healthy, you put him in and hope that things are a little bit less unsightly than they have been the past 4 games at quarterback. No guarantee there, but I'd like to, Now, if Brosmer had played much better today, then there would have been decisions to be made. But the Brosmer's play today left no decision to be made.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I agree with you guys 100%. It's just interesting. I did a TikTok live earlier this week and the chat was out of control. Don't play him anymore. Don't do this. Like, let him, we don't want him to get hurt. Just wait till next year. And I was very surprised by that point of view because just like with what you guys said, you need to evaluate him. If you're not gonna have him in there, at least trying to progress and trying to get better, then what's the point? You need to evaluate what you have so you can gauge your future and make decisions going forward. If you don't play him and then you're going to get in, what if he does have an okay season next year, but you haven't seen a lot because he gets injured again? Well, you've got to make this decision about, are you going to pick up his contract? And then I was saying this earlier in the year, which now it sounds like a crazy comparison to make, but you never want to get into a Jordan Love situation where you haven't seen enough and you got to make a decision. So that's another reason I wasn't in the camp of keeping Sam with a franchise or a 1-year deal, because he needs to get some reps so you can evaluate what you've got. If he's not good and it's a lost season already, he needs to be out there, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think he will be after the other alternative threw 4 interceptions today. So
I don't know. Those injuries seem to pop up on Mondays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Aaron Jones suffered a shoulder.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering for an update on
Biggs
that.
said it's Ritter time. No, Biggs. This is a lost season. Let the kid develop. Ritter's not going to do anything.
No, he won't. That we've seen some body work from him as well, which wasn't very encouraging. So he shouldn't be in there unless the other 3 guys can't walk.
Mm-hmm. And Freddie asked, would you sign Aaron Rodgers next year? That would make me physically ill, I think.
Well, yes. Sometimes you can hold your nose on these things, but I don't know if Rodgers can actually physically play a 17-game NFL season now. I think he got injured again today, right? So he'll be turning 43. He'll be 42 and turn 43 in December next year. I don't know if he's a good gamble. We already made some gambles on guys with health issues this year in free agency, and look how those turned out.
And I think if you want to sign a veteran like that, you want to sign somebody who is at least where you can say he is probably going to at least mentor the young guy who's still in the building. So I think that's what you want to have at this point. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to do that. So no, please don't. Like, if you want to go the route of having an old veteran QB in the building instead of a reclamation project, like just go out and get Kirk Cousins back here.
God,
I don't care.
Maybe should
I'd rather have that than Rodgers. I don't want to see either of them, but rather him than Rodgers.
Everybody seems to be disenchanted with Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. Maybe Kwesi Dofovich should call Howie Roseman and see if he can get the Super Bowl champ over here.
I'll go for that over Kirk Cousins.
Oh yeah, I could not survive another season in this fan base if Kirk Cousins came back. I couldn't do it. Could you imagine the takes? Could you imagine?
Yeah.
I couldn't. I will never walk in US Bank Stadium again with that guy in purple. I will never do it. I'll just stay home. Actually, I probably won't even watch. That'll be my boycott. That's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line. I can deal with a lot. No, I cannot.
I don't think you're going to have to be dealing. I don't think you're going to have to be dealing with that one.
Listen, he's not taking a big of a discount to be a number 2 quarterback. He also has no leadership skills whatsoever. So what would, as mentor skills, I should say, not leadership skills. He has shown zero desire to be any sort of mentor. So why would he even really want the job other than he misses living here, which too bad. Be careful what you wish for. But I think if next year you need to get a legit backup, but somebody who can maybe be a stable force as far as mentorship goes, which I don't know Carson Wentz, and we didn't get to see a ton of them, but I don't think that's necessarily what I have in mind when I think mentor. But as far as Aaron goes, if you were going to do that, last season was the season to explore that idea, not now. In JJ year 3, it's pointless.
Yep. With that, we'll call it the night. I want to thank everybody that watched and participated in the chat. You guys have absolutely rocked tonight. Sorry I have not interacted so much with you. I apologize for all the computer problems at the beginning, but it is what it is. It's just like today's game where your Minnesota Vikings went down in a shutout, 26-0 to the Seattle Seahawks. Thanks, Jackson, for the super chat. He'd sign the lead singer to AC/DC. Yeah, at least we get some entertainment that way.
I saw somebody in the chat say they'd sign Kenny Rogers, and he's been dead for 5 years.
Yeah, that was the old weather guy.
Funny.
Old space weather guy, who's a friend of mine. So, anyways, any last words there, Sal?
No, just great to see you guys. It's been fun. Obviously super shitty game, but definitely picked the mood up getting on here and, giving some hot takes and laughing with you guys.
We appreciate you showing up and coming on. You've been missed. Jonas, any last words?
Nope.
Go to bed, brother. Go to bed. You got to get up for work in an hour or so.
No, not that soon. It's 2 a.m., so it's not like I have just now. It's probably more like 4.
All right. Get some sleep. Darren?
I'm out of words now. I just
With that, folks, what do we say? Always SKOL Vikings. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell, and share this episode with your friends and even your enemies. We'd love it. Thanks for watching Vikings First and SKOL. We are part of the Fans First Sports Network, and we appreciate each and every one of you. SKOL.